Welcome to practice. Today's class is really a full body flow. We'll get a little bit into the hips and the shoulders. You will want 2 blocks for practice, so grab those. And today's class does lots of poses that we do in flow classes, but we're not doing any down dog or plank with the knees up. So it's a great way to kind of show you how you can do flow classes and you don't have to come into a full downward facing dog or plank with the knees up. This is great for anyone who's dealing with a shoulder injury and you don't want to put all that pressure in your shoulders. All right, so let's start lying down on our backs. And you can bend your knees, place your feet on the ground, bring your feet nice and wide, maybe as wide as your mat. Rest your arms maybe out to the side with palms up, or if it feels better, somewhere on the torso with palms down. Your knees might knock in towards each other, constructive rest. Let your eyes close or soften, whatever feels best here. So take a moment to land from your day, most likely coming from a busy schedule. Acknowledge that you're taking time for yourself, for your self-care, your body, your mind. And then commit to being fully present. Invite a slow, deep breath in through your nose. And take an open mouth exhale. Start to notice your breath. If possible, begin to breathe in and out of the nose. Find a slow, steady breath here. Breathing in through the nose and breathing out through the nose. Breathing into the low belly with each inhalation. Feeling your belly soften with each exhalation. Take a couple more breaths here, just connecting in with your breath. And using that as a way to start to quiet the mind at least a little bit. And then with your next breath in, let your eyes flutter open if they were closed. And as you exhale, bring your knees into your chest. Give yourself a squeeze, just rock side to side if it feels nice. And now from here, you'll keep your right knee in towards your chest, extend your left leg forward, try to lower your left heel to the ground, interlace fingers around the right shin, and draw your toes all the way back towards your face. Hug your right knee straight back towards the right shoulder, and then notice how when you do that, your left knee and thigh bows up a little bit, and your low back flattens to the mat. Can you try to press your left thigh down? And you might feel that that helps to keep that little space between the low back and the mat, that natural curve of your spine. Few breaths here. Every inhale, hug the right knee in towards the right shoulder. And every exhale, press your left thigh down. Keep your shoulders relaxed. Keep the jaw relaxed. Take another inhale. Stay to exhale. Keep your legs as they are. And then just rest your arms down by your sides. Now float your left foot an inch or 2 off the mat and try to do what I said just a moment ago not to do, which is to flatten your low back to the mat. And bring your left leg a little bit higher so it's at about a 45-degree angle. Now as you inhale, push your right leg forward so that it matches your left. And then exhale, bring your right knee back in towards the chest. Inhale, push the right leg forward as if you were pushing something heavy away from you. Exhale, bring it in. Inhale, push right leg forward. Notice if your low back lifts away from the floor, try to keep it down. Exhale, bring it in. 2 more like this. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Now option to stay, or if you'd like, curl your head, your shoulders off the ground, reach the arms forward, and then 5 more. Inhale, right leg forward. Exhale, bring it in. Try to hug the front ribs down and in. Inhale, right leg forward. Exhale, in. Inhale. Exhale. 2 more times. Inhale. Exhale. 1 more. Inhale. Exhale. Bring your left knee into the chest. Lower down. Give yourself a squeeze. Take a breath in and a breath out. Keep your left knee into the chest, extend the right leg forward, try to lower your leg to the ground. Interlace fingers around the left shin. Draw your toes straight back towards your face. Hug your left knee in towards the left shoulder, and then notice, did your right knee and thigh just bow up? Try to push your right thigh into the ground. You can imagine you had something heavy on this right thigh. See if that helps you to keep a little space between the low back and the mat so you're not tucking the tailbone under right now. And let's just stay for another couple of breaths. Use your exhales to press the right thigh down. Use your inhales to draw the left knee in towards the left shoulder. So while your left leg is bent, your left hip is in a position of flexion here. And while the right leg is straight, your right leg is in a position of extension. So doing both movements with both legs. Take another breath in. Keep your legs as they are as you exhale. Rest your arms down by your sides and then hover the right foot off the ground. And can you now flatten your low back to the mat? So curl your tailbone under. Bring your right leg to about a 45-degree angle. Inhale, push your left leg forward. Exhale, bring it in, and I like to draw my toes back towards my face. I feel more active that way. Inhale, left leg meets the right. Exhale, bring it in. Inhale. Exhale, bring it in. Hug your front ribs down and in. Inhale, forward. Exhale, bring it in. One more like this. Inhale. Exhale. Now you can stay like this or do an ab curl. Lift your head, your shoulders off the ground. Reach the arms forward. Inhale, left leg goes forward to meet the right. Exhale, bring it in. Inhale. Try to keep your low back as close to the mat as possible. Exhale. Let's do 3 more. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, left knee in, right knee in, lay down, bend your knees, place your feet on the ground. Do a little knock of your knees side to side. And then from here, roll onto one side of your body. Use your hands to come up. Come into a tabletop position. So as always, if you want a little extra padding for your knees, grab a blanket or towel. Just place it underneath your knees. And then stack shoulders over the wrists, hips over the knees, and gently spread out your fingers. Curl your tailbone up, relax the belly, and pull your heart forward. Take a breath in. Exhale, round your spine. Curl your tailbone under, push the ground away from you, and breathe into the back body. Inhale, arch your spine, cow pose. Come into this back bend position. Exhale, round, cat pose. Come into this position of flexion of the spine. And then do a few more on your own, moving with the breath. And see if you can do this with your arms pretty straight. So the movements in the upper back. If it feels too much on the wrists, you can always do this with your forearms down. And then after your next round or so, from a tabletop with your hands down, turn your fingers out to the sides and rock side to side a little bit. We're just going to warm up the wrists. Now the wider your hands are, the less intense it's going to feel. So if it feels painful in any way, bring your hands wider. If you want to go up a level, make it a little more intense, bring your hands closer to each other. And try to keep shoulders over the wrist. For more intensity, less intensity, you rock back a little bit. Okay, now from here, turn your fingers back forward. Walk your hands forward another inch or so and tuck your toes under. Flip your left palm to face up, your fingers back, and I'm also going to slide the left hand back a little bit. And then from here, you're just going to rock backwards a little bit and rock forward. Now this can feel super intense on the wrist, so if you can only rock back an inch, then you're just rocking back an inch. That's no problem. You don't need to push this or force this. I know how intense this is on the wrist, and it, trust me, does get easier over time. Your wrists will get stronger and more open. Okay, now bring your left hand back. Let's do the other side. Walk your right hand back a little bit, flip the palm up, fingers face you, rock backwards and forwards, a few times on your own. Each side of your body is different, so you also might notice that one wrist is even more flexible than the other. One wrist is probably stronger than the other, and oftentimes the wrist that is weaker that side will also have a weaker shoulder. Now bring your right hand back to tabletop. All right, from here, come and grab your blocks, place them in front of you, shoulder width apart on this lowest height, and then bring your hands on the blocks. Walk your knees back a little bit. From here, take an inhale, and as you exhale, step your right foot in between the blocks. Get the knee over the ankle. Bring your left foot a little behind you, so your back shin's at an angle as well. And then open up to a mini warrior two, facing the long edge of your mat with your arms out wide to a T. If you need to slide the foot back, do so. Make sure the right knee's over the ankle. Try to firm this left hip in and lift this right hip off the thigh. So in other words, you're not resting on your front thigh yet, not for warrior two. Take a breath in. As you exhale, bend this front knee. Maybe the knee goes past the ankle, and then straighten a bit, shift back, and reach your arms up. And then bend the knee, arms out wide to a T, and inhale straight and reach the arms up. Exhale, bend. Inhale, straighten a bit. Let's do one more bend. Shift it back, reach the arms up, and now keep your hips under your chest. Open your arms out wide to a T, warrior two. We're trying to keep our chest over our hips. If it feels like you're leaning forward, don't think about just moving the chest. Think about instead moving your hips. Firm your left hip in so your pelvis is upright under the chest. Another breath. Bring your left hand to your left hip, flip the right palm up, lean back, and reverse the warrior. Side angle, mini side angle, bring your right forearm to your thigh, raise your left arm up. So now we're letting the hips dip a little bit. That's okay. Rather than sinking into this bottom arm, push your thigh away from you. Turn your chest to the left rather than down by spinning your left ribs back, your bottom ribs forward. If you find that your ribs are puffing out in a back bend, move the front ribs down towards the frontal hip bones. Breathe into your back body. Take another breath here. Exhale, bring both hands to your blocks. Come back to your tabletop. Shoulders over the wrist, hips over the knees. And then from here, stretch your right leg back. Pick up the foot, bend your knee and open up your hip. Try to lift your right inner knee to the sky and try to wrap your left hip back. Push the ground away from you. Can you straighten your arms? And then take a big hip circle in one direction and a big hip circle in the other direction. And then place that right knee down. Let's take a cat-cow. Inhale, draw your heart forward and up. Exhale, round your spine. Come back towards center, walk your knees back just like an inch. Breathe in. Exhale, step your left foot in between your hands. Get toes in line with fingers. Angle your right foot back a little bit. Open up wide to a mini warrior two facing the long edge of your mat. Make sure the front knee's over the ankle. Firm this back hip in, bring your hips under your chest. Take a breath in here. Now exhale, bend your left knee, reach the arms up, maybe the knee goes past the ankle. And then shift back as you inhale, arms out wide, hips under the chest, and bend, reach the arms up. Shift it back, arms out wide, bend more, reach the arms up. Let's do one more. Shift it back, arms out wide. Bend it more, reach the arms up. And then shift back, arms out wide to a T and hold. Left knee over the ankle. Try to firm your right hip in. You want to feel your hips under your chest. Oftentimes in Warrior Two, we're leaning forward, but it's not because we need to adjust the chest. It's really the hips we want to fix first. So usually whatever is closest to the ground, that's what we address. Breathe. Bring your right hand to your hip, flip your left palm up, lean back, take a side bend. We call this reverse warrior. Breathe in. Exhale, bring your hands to the blocks. Step your left knee back to tabletop. Stretch your left leg back. Pick up the foot, bend the knee, and then take a big hip circle in one direction. And a big hip circle in the other direction. Hold for another breath. Lift the left knee, open the hip. Try to straighten your arms. Try to wrap your right hip back. Take a breath in. And then exhale, left knee down. Move your blocks to the sides. And in your tabletop, walk your hands forward a couple of inches, like 3 big inches. Shift forward so your shoulders come over the wrist. Tuck your tailbone under, chest forward, take an inhale. Exhale, slowly lower pelvis first, then belly, then chest. Stretch your legs long and back. Reach your arms back by your sides. Press down through your feet. Inhale, lift your head, your chest, your shoulders. Stay to exhale, drop the gaze slightly. Roll the shoulders away from the floor. Take another breath in. Exhale, hands down by the low ribs. Push up onto all fours, tabletop. And then come to a child's pose. Big toes touch. Separate the knees a bit. Your arms can be forward or back by your sides, or you can support your forehead with stacked hands. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Fill up your belly. And take an open mouth exhale. Connect back in with your body. Notice any sensations that are present. Notice if your breath got a little short, try to slow it down. And then curl your arms forward. Come into a tabletop, take an inhale. And stay as you exhale, really push the floor away from you. Take another breath in here. As you exhale, step your right foot forward. And then step your left foot forward. Come to a forward fold with your feet hip bone distance apart. Bend your knees a good amount. Relax your head towards the ground. And then keep a nice bend in your knees and roll up vertebrae by vertebrae. Your chin will be the last thing to lift. Reach your arms out and up as much as you can. Breathe in. Exhale, arms by your sides. Tadasana, mountain pose. Step your feet about hip bone distance apart. So under those frontal hip bones. Inside of your feet, parallel like train tracks. Rest your arms by your sides. Turn your palms forward. Feel your shoulders draw back. And try to keep the crown of your head over your chest, not jutting forward. We'll take just one Sun A variation just to kind of feel a different way of doing a Sun A without doing down dog or plank with the knees up. Inhale, raise the arms up. Fold forward, hinge at your hips, maybe a little bend in the knees. Chest forward as you lengthen your spine. Plant your hands, step your left leg back, drop the back knee. Step your right knee back, tabletop. Walk your hands forward, shift forward, and try to tuck your tailbone under. Take a breath in. Exhale, lower all the way to the belly. Make your hands as light as possible. Inhale, lift your hands, your head, your chest, low cobra. Squeeze the elbows in. Drop the gaze. Exhale, lower. Push up through all fours, tabletop. Child's pose. So instead of down dog, take a child's pose. Breathe in. Breathe out. Come forward onto all fours, tabletop. Let's take a cat-cow. Inhale, heart forward. Exhale, around the spine. Inhale, come back towards center. Grab your blocks. Place them on the lowest height, shoulder width apart. Bring your hands to the blocks under your shoulders. Move your knees back about an inch. Take a breath in. Exhale, step your right foot in between your hands. Now tuck your back toes, straighten your back leg. Spin your back heel down. Line up your front heel to your back arch, and then keep the bend in the front knee. Open up wide to warrior two. Straighten your front leg for a moment. Take your back hip, firm it in so that your hips are under your chest. Your right hip is lifting off the thigh. Inhale, arms out wide. Exhale, bend your right knee. Inhale, straighten the leg. Maybe reach the arms up. Exhale, bend. 3 more times. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, straighten, reach up. Exhale, bend and hold, warrior two. Ground through your front heel, lift your right hip up, lower your back hip. Make sure there's no bend in the back knee, push your left thigh back. Hug your front ribs in, soften the gaze, steady the breath. And now flip this front palm, lean back, reverse your warrior, take a side bend. Exhale, side angle, bring your right forearm to your thigh, palm up. Raise your left arm up. If that doesn't feel good for the shoulder, bring your hand to your hip. Ground through the right heel as you bend the front knee. Try to press more into the pinky side of your back foot. Breathe, keep the gaze steady. I like to look kind of down. Do whatever feels best for the neck, maybe straight forward, maybe up. Last breath in. Good, exhale, bring your hands back to the blocks. Pop your back heel up to face the ceiling. Drop your back knee. Step your right knee back, tabletop. Move the blocks to the side. Walk your hands forward. Rock forward. Tuck the tailbone under. Breathe in. Exhale to the belly. Breathe out. Make your hands super light. Lift your head, chest, shoulders. Low cobra. Use your back strength. Exhale, push up all fours. Child's pose. Breathe in. Breathe out. Crawl forward. Grab your blocks. Let's do the other side. Come to your tabletop, knees a little behind the hips. Take an inhale. Exhale, step left foot in between your hands. Tuck your back toes, straighten the back knee. Spin the back heel down. Make sure this front heel is in line with your back arch. Keep the bend in the front leg. Open up warrior two, facing the long edge of your mat. Straighten your front leg. Take your back hip, bring it in towards the midline. You can think of lifting the left hip up and off the thigh. Take a breath here. Exhale, bend your left knee, and then we'll move with the breath. Straighten your front leg, maybe reach the arms up. Exhale, bend. Inhale, straighten, reach up. Exhale, bend. Two more. Inhale. Exhale. This one we hold. Inhale. Exhale, bend your front knee, warrior two, and hold. Front knee is over the ankle. Left hip is trying to lift up and off the thigh rather than resting on it. Stay rooted through your feet, especially the back one. Soften the eyes, the shoulders, the jaw. And now turn your left palm up to face the ceiling. Lean back, take a side bend, reverse your warrior. Side angle, bring left forearm to the thigh. Right arm reaches up or bring your hand to your hip. Your left palm is facing up. Ground through your front heel. Push your left thigh away from you with your bottom arm so you're not sinking through that shoulder, but lengthening the left side of your waist. Press into the pinky side of your back foot more. Stay for another breath. Can you turn your chest open rather than down? One more inhale. Exhale, hands down. Pop up your back heel. Drop your back knee. Step your left knee back. Tabletop. Move the blocks to the side. Hands come forward. Rock forward. Take a breath in. Heart forward. Tailbone heavy. Exhale to the belly. Make your hands as light as possible. Inhale, lift your hands. Head, chest. Drop the gaze. Exhale, hands down. Press up onto all fours. Child's pose, big toes touch. Let the hips melt back. Rest your arms in whatever way feels best here. And then as you inhale, roll up. Swing your feet off to one side. All right. Bring your feet a little more towards the top of your mat. Do have a block in reaching distance. Bend your knees, place your feet on the ground. Come to lay down on your back. So from here, we just did a lot of leg work actually. So we're going to take a more passive hip stretch. Grab your block, You'll lift your hips and slide the block horizontally, the lowest height underneath your hips, so right about at the base of your spine. You don't want to feel this under the low back, not like you're so much in a back bend, just a hip raise. Rest your arms by your sides, and if you want, you can shrug the shoulders under a little bit. Get a little more lift in the chest. And then you could stay just like this with your feet flat on the ground. I like to bring my feet as wide as the mat. Or if you'd like, you can straighten your legs forward, but do keep your heels on the ground if you straighten your legs. And if when you straighten your legs, you feel this a little bit in the low back, try to lift your pubic bone up towards the navel. So you're curling your tailbone up a bit so that there's less pressure on the low back. And let your feet splay out a bit, your legs relax. Feel the belly expand with each breath in, and feel it soften with each breath out. And let's take just about 2 more breaths here. Slowing down the breath, reconnecting with our bodies. If they're not already, bend your knees or bring your feet to the ground. Reach your arms up towards the ceiling, curl your fingers in, and just gently roll out the wrists a few times in one direction. Making little circular motions on the ceiling. And then go the other direction, just little circles. I like to start kind of small and then let the circles get bigger over time. I go from like the size of a wristwatch to a peanut butter jar. Good, and then rest your arms down by your sides. And now from here, raise your legs up towards the ceiling. And you're going to have a little bend in the knees. Just let your hips sink down. Your legs feel heavy. Gently roll out the ankles. Draw little circles. Maybe start with wristwatch size. And then maybe they start to get a little bigger. And then go the other direction. Now find a little stillness. Maybe close the eyes or keep your eyes steady on one spot. Simply by closing the eyes, we're drawing the attention inward, or simply by keeping the gaze steady, we are inspiring the mind to become a little more steady. Then by slowing down the breath, we are telling our nervous system that we can relax a bit more, that we can bring the energy downward in this moment. And then when the nervous system is more relaxed, everything functions better. Take a deep breath in through your nose. And an open mouth clearing breath. Slowly bend your knees. Bring your feet to the ground. Lift the hips so you can slide the block out from away from you, and then lower it down slowly. And just do a little knock of your knees side to side. Draw your knees into your chest. Give yourself a big squeeze. Thank your body for all that it does for you every single day, for showing up on your mat. And then we'll set up for Shavasana. Let your arms and your legs splay out wide. Soften the eyes or close the eyes. Allow your arms and your legs to splay out, the muscles of your face to soften, even fingers and toes to relax. And I invite you to stay in your Shavasana for as long as you have, whether it's 5 breaths, 1 minute, or 5 minutes. And give your body permission to relax. And as I leave you here, I bring hands together with thumbs to third eye, bringing gratitude towards ourselves, each other, and this practice. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. Om Shanti, peace.